All right, welcome on in to another episode of Oh So Curious on DCU Daily. It is the final episode of the week. TGIF, it's Friday, and we've got lots to talk about. As always, we're going to have some stuff from the world of Marvel. There's a bunch of Avengers Doomsday related news. You know, is Doom going to get recast after the upcoming Avengers movies? There's a bunch of cast photos that Robert Downey Jr. himself shared online. We'll get into those. And yeah, there's some rumors in addition to that going around. Is Blade still gonna be played by Mahershala Ali? We'll talk about that. Of course, dude, Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock are back together again for a new movie, and we're gonna get into that. That was one of the better pieces of news of the day. On the other end of the spectrum, GTA 6 is delayed again. NPR and PBS might get defunded, and of course, we've got a bunch of DC news as well. We have David Corenswet's inspiration for Superman. How did he study up for the role? We'll talk about that. And we'll also get into, well, is Sergeant Rock actually going to happen? You know, they did delay it. It's on hold, but will all the talent still be there, both in front of and behind the camera by the time we get to next year? And we have some Supergirl photos and video. We have a video from Scotland where they're shooting now. So a lot of stuff today, and to do that and so much more, let's hit that beautiful news intro, and then we'll get the show started.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Corenswet.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, we do have a bunch of RDJ and Doomsday related news today. Thunderbolts obviously now playing in a movie theater near you, so we're going to get into what it's doing at the box office. We've got a bunch of quick hits from stuff going on all the way in India, all the way in the United States, and everywhere else around the world. And to do that and so much more, of course, you don't just have me. You also have John. How are you doing today?
I'm muted. Hey, that's... I mean, come on. That had to happen at least once this week. That's fine. I'm here. I just had food. We're ready for the weekend. Nothing I like is coming out, so I'll just watch stuff that I need to catch up on. And hopefully it'll be a good weekend, although it's supposed to rain all weekend. So that's not great, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's a bunch of storms. I mean, I was up late last night and it was like thundering and lightning outside in the Northeast here. So yeah, it's gonna be a rainy weekend. It's funny because it's been nice and sunny outside during the week, but now that people have time off work, it's gonna be raining. But anyway, we will get into the news because that's what we're here to do. It looks like it's not only raining for those of us who want to, you know, spend our weekends outdoors. It's also raining for those of us who have been looking forward to GTA 6 because John, Rockstar, can't get their shit together, and they just announced today another delay to Grand Theft Auto 6. It's now going to be coming out in May of 2026. Previously, they didn't quite give it a date. I guess now it has a date, May 26, 2026. And previously, they were just saying end of this year, end of 2025. So I guess in a manner of speaking, this is a delay, but you can also look at it as like they finally gave it an actual date. It just happens to be, you know, a few months after that they had originally promised it. So yeah, Rockstar Games, GTA 6, it was going to be the biggest game of the year. Now it's not coming out this year. Are you surprised by this? I mean, they said, we are very sorry that this is later than you expected. We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality you expect and deserve, John. Is that Is that your sentiment on this? Do you expect and deserve a game this year or next year?
I'm probably not. I'm probably never gonna play. It's like the only reason I played GTA 5 was to play GTA Online with my friends, and that was it. I've maybe like played 30 minutes of the story, not even, because I don't fucking care about it. The only reason I would play it is if I didn't have an internet connection and I was bored. So I was like, all right, sure. Or I was like waiting for them to get on, and I'm like, well, I don't want to start online just yet, so I'll just play this. Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. Like, but the thing is, like fucking like the GTA 5 came out in 2013. It has been on 3 generations of video games. I think people can wait another year. Like, but it's like no shock because it's like, because look, I mean, if you looked at that footage in the trailer, I'm like, and they're aiming for 2025, bullshit. And you know what? Guess what? I was right, because I mean, I don't think anyone truly believed it was coming out in 2025. They're like, all right, let's see. And yeah, no way that's happening, obviously, now. But yeah, I mean, like, oh my god. I mean, it's like they're the original delayed like game. It's like Batman Part 2 fans and Beyond the Spider-Verse fans are like, oh, my stuff got delayed for another year. Meanwhile, GTA fans, first time. So it's like it's just another thing. It's like the memes will be great. It's Rockstar. Like it's like maybe in the meantime they can release a fucking like bully game or Red Dead 3, but that's never happening either because GTA is their bread and butter. Shark cards, everybody. You know those? Anyway, so yeah, it's not a shock. It's I since I don't really care about GTA that much, and there's already controversy with it, dumb controversy, but still. So it's like whatever. It's
what I will say about this.
I mean, the thing is, they probably can't even fucking afford it anyway. This shit's probably gonna be like $150 for the standard edition on release, with how the prices of video games are fucking going. Thanks, Nintendo. Fuck you. So there's that as well.
I mean, what I will say this about this, I should say, is
that's true. That's surprising. There's way better games you could be playing right now.
There's so many other games this year that have been like jostling for release dates and trying to stay out of the way of the Goliath that GTA 6 was expected to be, and probably still is gonna be. Like Fiona said, like, hey, whenever they goddamn please, and we will all buy it. I mean, true. But like now we end up in a situation where okay, it's out of the calendar year, so like everybody else has to kind of scramble to be like, okay, all right, we can actually wait a little longer to release our game because we don't have to worry about getting out of GTA 6's way until May of next year. So obviously that's something that's being affected by this. But the internet, as you can imagine, they were also being affected by this, and quite a few different ways. I wonder if you want to give a shot at reading out some of these reactions that we're getting.
Yeah, and that's also another what Bloon said. It's like, you know what, in this, because it's like it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'd rather have it delayed and the game actually be good. I mean, it's never going to live up to people's expectations with how long like they've been milking GTA 5 for the past fucking 13 years when this comes out. So that's not the thing. But like, I'd rather have it delayed than, because it's like it's either they release it on time and it's a buggy, shitty mess that takes a year of patches for it to become somewhat playable. Because God knows that happened with Cyberpunk. It's like finally a playable game after what, like 2-3 years of it of patches and DLC and shit like that. So there's that. Or it's like it's going to get delayed a bunch of times and people are still going to be pissed because they want to play it now. But it's like, you play it now, it's going to be buggy. If it's delayed, people are going to be pissed. But it's like, and then they'll still not be happy. It's like, oh, this is what you fucking delayed it for. So it's, no matter what they do, people are going to be angry.
Yeah, it's it's a no-win situation. You can read there was the reactions are one of a kind. At least give us it's a screenshot. This is ridiculous even for Rockstar. You want to sing that out for us, John? The enterprising comment? That's great. I love
Hey
it.
now, you're a rock star. Get your game on delays.
Blaze, hey. Yeah, hey now, you're Matt Reeves. Get your script on. Hey, I don't know. It's yep. We got X, Y, and Z before the other thing. Comment from Caleb. But hey, look, on the bright side, we at least have a date now. So some people are like looking on the bright side. I tend to do that sometimes. I'm known for that. May 26th. That's when it's set to come out. So there you go. At least we now have a date. It's not 2025. It's 2026. So technically, I mean, you can call it a delay, but officially they never dated it before. So there's that. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see when it actually comes out. Let us know in the comments down below. Do you guys actually believe they'll stick to this date? Matt Reeves and the Batman 2 have moved around like 2, 3, I don't know how many times. They've moved around a lot, their release date. So, and as has GTA 6. Do you think this May 26th, 2026 date will stick? We'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. But John, we do have a couple of other stories to talk about, a couple of other unseemly stories to talk about. So the next one up, I woke up to this morning. So I've been sitting on this all day. I read the article. There's been updates to it since. They've added more quotes and more reactions from the people affected, by it and all whatnot. So apparently, the president of the United States of America signed an executive order overnight directing an end of federal funding for NPR and PBS, and basically all stations, like television and radio stations that are supported by them. And they called them basically excuses for trash, I think was one of the quotes. It's just like saying like it's for the appearance of proper journalism. Like it was, the comments are just terrible.
Oh, hey,
and
look,
the
he's
language
being an idiot. What a shock. Oh my God.
But
let's move on.
like what I want to focus on, because look, the reason why I bring this up is because it affects this is not obviously it's politics because it's connected to politicians, but I want to talk about this because NPR and PBS serve a really important purpose in our media landscape, right? You have these independently funded, like, because ultimately what it comes down to, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the CPB, is an independent organization. They're not federally funded. They were created by Congress, and they're the ones who provide funding to all the PBS and NPR stations, and it serves a huge purpose. I mean, from just small town public radio and TV stations. Like, I started out when I was first starting out in media and television production. There was a public station in my town, or the next town over, that I worked at and volunteered at, and then I got like a paid gig eventually at one of them, and that's how I learned how to like work on my very first couple of TV shows and stuff. And then from there I went on to work for bigger organizations like ESPN, NBC, and all that. So it's an important part of a lot of people's lives. PBS, obviously, you have stuff like, they're the ones who aired Downton Abbey. You have the Masterpiece series of shows and stuff, and beyond just entertainment, like Frontline documentaries and just providing educational content. Is Sesame Street part of that too? I mean, or am I wrong about that?
Well, they were, but then they went to HBO, and now they're
not on HBO either. Well, that's a work in progress, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
The legalities of this are questionable because it's not really under the authority of the president. If you go and read the charter and basically how the CPB is organized and structured, I mean, one of the board members of the CPB is Tom Rothman, like the CEO, one of the heads of film production at Sony, and he was at CinemaCon just a few weeks ago. So this is probably going to get challenged in the courts. It seems like both the people in charge at CBS and NPR released statements saying that they will vigorously defend their right to provide essential news information and life-saving services to the American public. And this is not the first time something like this has been done by this president. Both in his previous term, he tried to take down Voice of America, which also serves a big significant role in terms of providing journalism, like unbiased journalism abroad. So yeah, I mean, blatantly unlawful is what the CEO of the CPB, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, said about this. John, do you care to add anything to that? I mean, what is your reaction to this? How do you think this will ultimately play out?
It's just fucking stupid. It's like, that's all we really need to say. It's like, it's fucking stupid. It makes no sense. But at the same time, who it's coming from, it makes perfect sense. So yeah, that's all you really need to say. It's stupidity at its highest level, and Mr. Rogers didn't die for this shit. So, yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. That's yeah, it really bothered me. I'm like, we're gonna have to talk about this because it's so ridiculous. It is so freaking ridiculous. But hopefully things will work out for the better in the sense that PBS and NPR, like I said, serve a very important role in our ever more, segmented media landscape. They provide more centered, unbiased journalism and opportunities for people to both learn how to do TV and video production, as well as, of course, take part in telling stories that you often wouldn't get on a CNN or on an MSNBC or Fox News, because they need to provide ad revenue, whereas here with PBS, you're getting something because it's for the public good. Like they're the way they're funded and everything, it serves a crucial role, a role that often goes unrecognized in our media landscape. So I hope, and I'm sure both of us are in agreement on this, that PBS and NPR are here to stay and not going anywhere anytime soon, especially for all the small town radio stations and TV stations that they support as well, not just like the bigger entities that most people might be aware of. With that said, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you think about this, and I'm sure we'll cover it, any other updates that happen with regards to this story. In the meantime, we have to switch over and talk a little bit more about Thunderbolts. Yesterday, Liz provided a very extensive review, and John, you kind of chimed in with your thoughts, and we brought in all the spoilers that you can possibly manage and handle. But today, I wanted to talk about the box office. So, of course, we got a Friday box office update. Earlier today, the headline read that it had gotten off to an official, this number came from Disney, $11.5 million at previews. So that's the Thursday number. Yesterday, that's how much money Thunderbolts made at the box office on Thursday. Now, based on how things have been going for it today on Friday, it's aiming for that $70 to $75 million. If you want to compare what the Thursday for Thunderbolts was to, like, say, Sinners made like $8 million, I believe, on its previews. So, very, very good comparison. I mean, obviously, Thunderbolts is a bigger movie, bigger budget, better movie. Most people will probably say no. But hey, Sinners is still going to do pretty gosh darn well for itself in its third weekend, only dropping, a good like 30%, if you want to do the math on that, 35% from its second weekend to $30 million. John, what are your thoughts on this? Are you surprised by these numbers? I know that 70 to 75 million is basically what people were predicting going into the weekend. So at least it's staying on target. But I mean, do you feel, based on the positive reviews for it, that it might even overperform potentially if things keep going the way they have?
I mean, no, it's not a shock or anything like that. It's, I mean, it got a lot of better, like reception surrounding it. It felt like Brave New World was like kind of one of those movies they just didn't have faith in. It wasn't very good. The reshoots, even though it wasn't as extensive as we once thought, it was only about a month. Even then, it was enough to really alter the movie and make it disjointed and kind of messy. This was more positive, I guess. Like, that's the best I could really say. This was more positive, so I could see it getting a lot. I could see it maybe getting like maybe a little bit more than 70 to 75, maybe 80. I feel like the weekend is really going to bring in some more people, like the proper weekend. But yeah, I think this makes sense, and it feels like a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of people are liking it. People who I know are not fans of Marvel are like, yeah, this is or have not been fans like of the past few phases are like, this is actually surprisingly really good. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's also when you look at the numbers overall, you see the comment there. By the way, Steven is in the chat, enterprising here as well. And Manolo's here. Fiona, of course, is here watching. Hello, Fiona, moderator Fiona, that is. We have Five Ash as well. Jalen, hello, Jalen. How are you doing today? I mentioned earlier, Caleb, of course, joined in. Elite Easy E, you guys were here first, so shout out to you guys. But yeah, the comment on the screen, John, from Steven, it is lower than Captain America 4. But also, Captain America, I mean, even though it's not Steve Rogers' Captain America, the brand Captain America is still a bigger brand than, obviously, Thunderbolts, which basically is a lineup of B-list characters, even though there's some A-list actors in there. So not surprising entirely that, that's the reason why this movie is playing a little bit lower. But word of mouth looks great so far in terms of, fans. The Rotten Tomatoes rating is really high. I believe the Rotten Tomatoes score for it, for the critics is still, let me just double check before I blurt out the wrong number, but the critic score, I believe, is still in the high 80s. It started off in the 90s. It's 89% actually. It went up when we were talking about it yesterday. It was 88%, and then the audience rating is 95% right now. So 95% over 2,500 reviews from people who went and saw the movie. So it's they're calling it verified hot for the audiences, and then certified fresh for the critics. So it's been a while since a Marvel movie has kind of hit that mark on both fronts. So that's great to see. Of course, I think Deadpool and Wolverine technically did that, but yeah, I mean, outside of Deadpool and Wolverine, which seems to be the exception to the rule of the MCU of late, Thunderbolts doing great for itself. In fact, John, speaking of Thunderbolts, Sentry, of course, played by Lewis Pullman, who I just watched Top Gun Maverick the other day again because I just wanted to watch a movie that was like a comfort food movie for me, and I love my Top Gun Maverick. I will forever love that movie. Of course, Lewis Pullman played Bob in that movie as well, and he plays Bob in Thunderbolts. Apparently, he did not want to be called Bob in Thunderbolts. He was like, I was like, can we change the name? I just played a Bob, and he was like, it's in the comics. You can't change that. So basically, Kevin Feige and Marvel said,
I mean, as the great barrier keeps it, it's in the comics, you can't change that, is wild for the MCU to say, considering they changed quite a lot themselves. So here's the thing, why not call him Robert? I mean, he's called Robert in the comics. I understand it's not as funny as Bob, but you call him Rob, you call him Robert, you call him fucking Bert for all you care. It's just like you call him a number of different
Bert,
things.
like from Severance, Bert.
Robbie, Birdie, like you could fucking call him a million different things. So but I understand it's so funny. It's like, it's because in the comics, it's like, this is the same movie that has Taskmaster in it, aka the most butchered fucking character from the comics that has ever been included in the MCU. Like, the backstory isn't the same, the fucking they nerf them majorly, and they're nothing like them. There's some brainwashed chick, the daughter of fucking Diet Martin Scorsese from Black Widow. It became Taskmaster, and it's like, you're a fucking idiot. I love how it's like, well, it's in the comics. It's like, oh, so that's only for a name. That you can't change it.
Well,
you can't change a fucking name.
But dude, I'm not gonna lose
how
sleep
many
over
characters they've nerfed, written poorly, and butchered over the fucking decade and a half this franchise has gone along. Is look at Thanos. They fucking butchered his fucking backstory too, and it's like, really, this is the live or die thing. Is a name that technically isn't even correct. It's Bob, not Robert. Technically, the character's name is Robert, not Bob, even though Bob is technically a nickname for Robert. He's called Robert in the comics, so you're technically not even right in that case. So there's that as well. So shut the fuck up.
Caleb got your reference, by the way.
Because you're like...
Look, here's the thing. I'm not losing sleep over it. I just thought
I'm not losing sleep over it. I just think it's so
totally
funny
that
they give that excuse. because it's the MCU. They're never like the comics.
But you know
anyway.
what? It's not wrong though. It's not wrong. I mean, like it's because can you imagine if they did change it, then people would be like, "But he's Bob in the comics." Like it's like,
of course,
it doesn't matter if
like,
it's DC or Marvel. Like you know, people would like shit on that. So it's fine.
No, I'm not saying that. That's
I'm like we don't need to.
Would.
I'm just
but
saying.
like,
I think you're overreacting, John. I think it's okay.
No, the thing that makes me here's the thing. The thing that makes me angry is the fact they give that excuse, because again, this is the same movie that has Taskmaster. Red Guardian isn't like the comics. Yelena Belova isn't like the comics. Hell, Bucky wasn't even like the none of these characters are like their comic book counterparts. Yet the name is the thing that's like, hang on, calm down. But you can nerf, rewrite, redo all sorts of things with these characters. But the name is, it's like that Community sketch. It's like, I can handle racism, but fucking animal cruelty is where I draw the line. Is like, what? So I can handle nerfing and completely destroying a character's credibility and actual character, but a name is where I draw the line. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Let's take like Taskmaster, who is quite literally an Avengers level threat in the comics, to make it some broad who's a bounty hunter, souped up bounty hunter. Cool.
I mean, but hey, Sentry also killed the Marvel comics, like the Marvel universe. So there's that.
Yeah, so did Deadpool.
Bob.
So did Punisher. A lot of people have killed the Marvel universe.
Didn't the Hulk do it too?
Probably.
All right. Then we're not done talking about the Thunderbolts, because there's a couple other things I wanted to get your opinion on, John. Apparently, we got an explanation as to why Taskmaster got killed, and basically what it boiled down to is like, you know, it felt a little bloodless. Like they wanted to add tension into the movie, and the way that they did that. Excuse me. Sorry, there's a thing going on in the background I had to keep track of. But basically, the reason why they did this is they're like, you know, none of the other characters are gonna die, and we can't like have a movie where no character dies. Like there has to be some tension, you know. There has to be some blood. So like, of course, we're gonna kill off Taskmaster. So, and if you have seen the movie, of course, they do it in a pretty brutal way. They do it pretty early, and yes, it does draw your mind to another movie that did something very similar. Like how many years has it been now? It's been 8 years ago, was it? 9 years ago? I forget how long ago David Ayer didn't get to finish his Suicide Squad, but
2016, so about 2016, a decade, almost
9 years ago, when the first Accountant came out. But John, the whole reason the director is like, you know, we brought Antonia back, but you know, we did it because we wanted to just kill off a character so that it wasn't like a bloodless movie. There was a bit of tension. And I mean, you already kind of ranted on this a little bit, but I'm not impressed by that answer. That the only reason they had to like
because it's a bullshit reason.
Table, like it's so stupid. It's
anyway.
It's like and like Slipknot by comparison in the first Suicide Squad movie, like nobody gives a shit about the character. They literally roll him out of a government like, you know, Escalade, and then 5 minutes later Boomerang convinces him to like, you know, go up a line and have his neck blown off, whatever. Like he's literally in the movie for 3 minutes. They didn't even give, you know, the reason I knew Slipknot was gonna not survive the movie is because they didn't give him like his own little montage with like all the fancy graphics. Like he didn't get that. He wasn't even in the movie long enough for that. So I was like, okay, it's pretty obvious. But and then that, you know, Suicide Squad wasn't exactly a great movie anyway, but I don't know. This just kind of bothered me. Like this is lazy. Like come up with a more creative reason to like bring a character in and kill him off, right? Especially because, like you said, this character had so much potential. Now there's not a Taskmaster. Now, granted, it seems like somebody else could take on the moniker down the road in the MCU, however it evolves. But it just feels like a waste. Like why do this? Like Olga Kurylenko, I don't even know if she was at the red carpet for the movie. So I mean, anything to add to that, John? I just wasn't impressed.
well, I know for a fact that it's a bullshit answer because it's just like we don't like it's a botched character. As I said, they already fucked them up. They already fucked up Taskmaster, and they're like, we can't like Olga Kurylenko probably doesn't want to fucking. She probably just came in because she missed. Because I know she was considered for Black Widow, and then she said no. So so this was her like being like, I'll do a Marvel movie now that the fucking MCU sucks. But so they threw her Taskmaster. They threw her into the Black Widow movie. She did fuck all pretty much. And then and now they're like, well, we have nothing to do with this character. We have nothing for this character anymore. Well, kill her off. That's it. I would bet money that is exactly what happened, because they either want to get rid of her,
We're working on it, Hugo.
We're working on it. Either Kurylenko is like doesn't want to do it. They don't want to deal with this character anymore, this version of the character. They just want to get rid of her. Maybe they'll bring in the actual comic accurate Taskmaster later on, but they're like, nope, fuck her, get rid of her. And it's like, all right then. And that's what it is.
I also kind of feel bad for Olga Kurylenko, like her movie career. I keep saying like she had like the upward trajectory that I don't know, like compare her to any like I'm trying to think of a good example of somebody else who's kind of got the rocket behind them, shooting to the moon today. But yeah, like she had everything going for her when she started out. But yeah, a couple of bad movies. It's like her, Taylor Kish. It's like their careers. You know, they were meant to be leading ladies, leading men of their time, and that never quite worked out. Hey, Manos. Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, man. Definitely check it out after the fact. You know, we'll have a full show for you. Five Ash is gonna go change his diapers. All right, Five Ash. Good luck with that. Who lasted longer, Slipknot or Jimmy Olsen? Well, Caleb, I think Slipknot lasted longer because Jimmy Olsen didn't even survive the one scene he was in. Although the same could be said, no, Slipknot was kind of there for like a scene and a half, I would say, right? Because he shows up, and then they're like, they turn a corner, and maybe that's a different scene. They go around another block, and then he tries to escape and dies. I don't know. I haven't seen the first Suicide Squad in a long time. But anyway, moving on to the next thing, John. Another Thunderbolts story that I came across today. Now, okay, Elite Easy, you were like, spoilers. I'm just going to put this up right now. So
I mean, we already spoiled shit.
We totally did. But I'm just putting this up because we're about to show some images that are in the movie, and they're very consequential. They might even be the images that answer the question about why the asterisk in the title. So if you haven't seen the movie, you don't want it spoiled, then beware, because I'm about to start scrolling. So I'm going to start scrolling in 3, 2, 1. Oh wow! I also had food before the show, and some of it has come back up. Anyway, the new Avengers logo, guys. It looks terrible. The one on the left, of course, is the one that we are more familiar with, but the one on the right is apparently the new Avengers logo. Which I'm like, why? Like, why change it? I mean, I guess in the movie they're like, oh, it's a copyright thing, and there's 2 Avengers teams. So I guess the official Avengers, the government is sponsored ones are the one on the right. Then whatever, you know, Captain America's putting together is the one on the left. Cool. This, though, is much more interesting, John. Let's talk about this for a second, shall we? So yourself and Liz yesterday talked about this in the movie, in the second post-credit scene, which, by the way, has now become the longest post-credit scene of any in the MCU at like 3 minutes pretty much. Usually they're like a 90 seconds, minute and a half, 2 minutes. This whole thing was 3 freaking minutes long. And in those 3 minutes, we saw the Fantastic Four come into the 616 universe. That's the ship we have seen in the trailers. You see there the new Avengers. I'm pretty sure that's Walmart Captain America on the left. Winter Soldier on the right. Yelena in the middle, our new Black Widow.
Walmart Captain America, Walmart Black Widow, and
the Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier. There you go.
Steven,
we're getting to the DC news, man. We're getting to the DC news. Just stick with us here.
We're like, this is like part 2 of MCU Weekly. We apologize.
Yes. Sorry. Like, there's a lot of it's a big week for Marvel. Tony not copywriting the Avengers makes no sense. I know. You would think Tony Stark of all people would have figured this shit out, would have looked ahead and thought something like this could happen. But anyway,
I guess you could say not a great plan.
But you know what? This is the new name, the new Avengers. I always thought that calling them the new Avengers would sound stupid, but I mean, the way they've done it is sort of like half sarcastic anyway, so whatever, it's fine. Caleb, by the way, I don't know what plugging your ears is going to help you with. This is a visual. So, I mean, this is all interesting and stuff. Yeah, the new Avengers. There you go. So that was all revealed at the end of the movie. Now it's on the internet. It didn't even take a day for people to put it on the internet. So we're talking about it.
Of course. Come on now.
You're talking about it.
But I love how they this is not only spoilers for Thunderbolt, but they put spoilers for Fantastic Four in Thunderbolts. Cool.
That's on Marvel. That's official Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. Us. Like, it's funny.
That's not us.
You know that works.
That's not us leaking it. That's Marvel literally putting it right there. So you know what though? We did not see who comes out of the ship, right? So we don't know who's in there. Not to mention, you guys talked about this, I'm pretty sure, yesterday, that this whole sequence, this final scene, was shot by the Russo brothers, not the director of this movie. I think what was his name? Paul or Jake Schrager or something, I think. Jake Schreier. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. Who basically the person who directed Thunderbolts did not direct this post-credit scene. In fact, they shot this stuff in what I think there was an interview recently. I think it was Florence Pugh talking about it. And she was like, yeah, we shot that on Doomsday. We already started shooting Doomsday, even though Doomsday officially started shooting only a few days ago, earlier this week. And then Ken Feige goes, he quickly corrects her saying, that was like pre-photography. So like apparently what they were filming was this for the Thunderbolts. So that this second post-credit scene was a pretty late ad, which I mean, Marvel's no stranger to. The very first Avengers had that whole shawarma thing that they shot pretty close to the release of the movie. So although this is much more consequential on a storytelling basis than that scene ever was. But hey, with that, John, I'm going to remove the spoiler warning because now it's time. It's time for us to get into the quick hits. That's what Fiona was here for. She likes to refer to it as Drag Race Daily, DR Daily, part of the show, because you've been talking a lot of Drag Race of late. But anyway, John, let's hit that quick hits music and let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this fucking show on the road.
So, the first thing, apparently The Accountant 2, while we had to wait for that for 9 years, it looks like The Accountant 3 might be coming a whole hell of a lot sooner than that, because director Gavin O'Connor talked about just, not only the real-time relevance of the movie's plot today, he talked about the Warrior series that he had been working on, and the fact that he has been working alongside not only the star of the movie, but also producer Ben Affleck, and talking to Amazon about a trilogy capper, saying it will not be another 9 years before we do our third one. And, when you look at the post-credit sequence in the second Accountant movie, you pretty much know they're working towards something beyond this, whether it's a third Accountant movie, a spin-off. But John, are you surprised by this, that they're already working on a third movie, despite the fact, look, now the Accountant movies don't make a shit ton of money, but they're also not very expensive to make. So The Accountant 2 is doing well enough, and obviously it's Amazon, so they've got money to throw around. So, even if it had flopped, they probably would stick with it because it means they could continue playing with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's production company. What are your thoughts on this? How long do you think it's going to be before we get The Accountant 3?
I think it's safe to say we'll get GTA 6 before that. But
you
it's
sure
going to take a little bit longer, but it's not going to be... Well, it's going to probably come after 2026, I will say that. So, there is that. I'm excited for it, whatever he has planned, but I think if I were to take a guess, maybe 3-4 years, I would say 2028, 2029 at the latest. I don't know, just
well,
because I don't want to give it 2 years and then we get it. I think they'll wait a bit.
I would. Ben Affleck's got a bunch of other stuff going on. Matt Damon is currently filming The Odyssey. Not that Matt Damon is directly involved with this, it's just their production company. And John Bernthal, though, is busy. He's currently writing, producing, and starring in his own Punisher special for Disney+. So and I'm sure he's gonna have a role in Daredevil season 2, Daredevil Born Again season 2. So yeah, maybe filming The Accountant 3 might take a little while. Plus, Gavin O'Connor is also a director in demand. I mean, Enterprising wants a DC movie from Gavin. I'm sure we would all appreciate a DC movie from Gavin O'Connor. Maybe bring Idris Elba in there. What was this character from the Suicide Squad? Idris Elba's character, was it Dead? It wasn't. Was that Deadshot? Was Will Smith? What was Idris
I thought these
Elba's?
were supposed to be quick, Dan.
I'm just sorry. All right, I was just saying, like, if Gavin O'Connor was gonna direct a DC movie, it could be that. You guys know the character that Idris Elba played in the Suicide Squad.
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. There you go. Thank you, John. But I know you guys talked about this yesterday, or might have been earlier in the week. But Drag Race AllStars starting its new season in literally a week from today, on the 9th of May, so next Friday that is. And well, they announced 10 guest celebrity judges, including Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande from the Wicked movies. You have also Chappelle Roan and many more.
Didn't we cover this yesterday?
We did. I just wanted to bring it up again because Fiona was in the chat, and this is her favorite franchise. So
okay. Well, we're also revealing more names than we talked about. So there you go.
Yes, right there. You look at this. Some of the names are pretty cool. You got Deja Sky, Denali, Ginger Minge. Okay, I don't know that one. These are all the cast members. These are not the celebrity judges. The celebrity judges, you've got a bunch of names at the top of the pile there. Ice Spice, Chappelle Rowan, Coleman Domingo, who we will also talk about soon, Kate Beckinsale, Adam Shankman, Suzanne Barsh, Jamal Sims, Mayan Lopez, Devery Jacobs, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. Some of the queens on the show will be Cynthia LaFontaine, Dia Betty, Acid Betty, Asia, Alyssa Hunter. I mean, I love the names. Amazing names. Nicole Page Brooks, cool. Phoenix, Tina Burner, Olivia Lux. I'm sure there's even more that I haven't read here. There are, in fact. Cash prize of $200,000. That's quite a bit of money. But speaking of Coleman Domingo, John, you can get back on camera now if you like. His directorial debut, Scandalous, which is set to star Sydney Sweeney, you see in the middle, and Kim Novak onto the left. And she's going to be playing Kim Novak, that is. And David Johnson, you can see on the right of Sydney Sweeney, who's going to be playing Sammy Davis Jr. That movie, Scandalous, is heading to the Cannes Film Festival for international sales. And the film would chart the love affair between film star Novak and singer, dancer, and actor Davis Jr. Coleman Domingo, man, he's getting into directing, and now it looks like
he's like, you know what? The Academy keeps gypping me for acting. Maybe I'll try my hand at directing. So, I swear this dude has been nominated like every year for the past 5 years and still hasn't fucking gotten anything. He was nominated for Sing Sing. He was nominated for what else? He was nominated for a bunch of stuff.
I feel like he should win one at least by now, right?
Yeah. No, he's terrific. So it's like, bro, come on. I know he was nominated for. Was he nominated for American Fiction? I think he was in that. But he was nominated for a bunch of stuff. I know that. Like, because I feel like I keep seeing his name, and it's like, bro, like, just give this man an Oscar. Willem Dafoe too. Like, the fact he hasn't won an Oscar is like ridiculous. Anyway, but yeah, this looks like it could be really good. Sydney Sweeney, her like 12th project for the next like 3 years. Like, way to go.
Yep. Couple of comments from that RuPaul Drag Race story, by the way. Jimmy Fallon would be a great guest. I think Jimmy Fallon would have fun as a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. And yeah, Ginger has been around forever. Thank you, y'all, for adding to that conversation. But yeah, Coleman Domingo. Good on you, son. Good on you. I mean, son, he's a lot older than me. New images from the John Wick spinoff, Ballerina, have come out now. This is from Entertainment Weekly, John. And this came alongside a whole interview with Ana de Armas talking about filming this whole sequence.
The
and
dudes
how
in the theater once they see Ana de Armas.
Are you acting it out for us right now? What is going on?
No.
Here?
No,
Okay,
I had to pick.
All right.
I dropped something, so I picked something.
I thought you were doing a bit. I don't know.
No,
sorry.
I'm just saying, in general, kind of like the guy who went to go see Anyone But You and used the Dunusi in the theater, but that's just how it be.
These crickets are going off the rails. Dude, wait, hold on. Caleb just said something that I did not know. Willem Dafoe has never won an Oscar? Really?
No. Yeah, he's been nominated.
He's never won an Oscar?
4
That's
times.
a freaking crime. That's a freaking.
It
crime,
is.
man.
It is. It is.
You would think so. The man does like 7 movies a year, and he's like, I don't know, 75. Like what? Like how does he not get just on volume alone? I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio.
He was
okay, you know what Willem
nominated
Dafoe needs to
for-
do? He needs to fight a real wolf and eat raw meat. That will get
He
him
was.
an Oscar.
Well, he's not going to do that because he has integrity. But he was nominated for Platoon. He was nominated for, I think, Steve's is the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and then I think something else. But yeah, I can't see her as Wonder Woman. Maybe Catwoman, but I don't really see Ana de Armas. I could see, or Zatanna. I think would be better for Ana de Armas.
This looks intense though. Like these photos, like that whole fire
It
sequence.
looked good.
Something or someone is getting burned down in that whole situation, and then you see her getting that looks like a painful big ass tattoo on your back, which is clearly part of the whole, culture of the ballerinas that she's a part of. So yeah, I mean, Ana de Armas looks fantastic in this from every little bit of this movie that we have seen so far. The character posters the other day, I'm excited for this. This movie is gonna sneak up on us because of how busy things are gonna be at the box office. So yeah. Caleb saying we also live in a world where Crash won Best Picture. Yeah, that's still, argue. Maybe most people just clicked and play and then walked away. That's why they voted for it. If you know, you know. We talked about the Oscars situation the other day. But speaking of the Oscars, Martin Scorsese, an Oscar winner himself, he's joined India's Khan Usartan Regard selection called Homebound as an executive producer. John, do you think this movie will be cinema?
Will it be cinema? Possibly.
I'll take that and run. Caleb thinks it will be cinema, and I'm sure that's what Marty sees in the movie. That's why he's a part of it now. But speaking of things happening in India or coming from India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and of course actor Shah Rukh Khan and basically one of the richest men in India, Mukesh Ambani, as well as probably the biggest movie star ever in South Indian cinema, Rajnikant, they all were at the Wave Summit, the inaugural Wave Summit, to kick things off in Mumbai. This was an event that we talked about a little while ago. Literally the biggest stars from all of Indian cinema, not just Bollywood, but also Tollywood, Collywood, every iteration of movies in all the different languages and cultures across India, as well as I believe they said like a number up to 90 other countries, including the UK, that signed a big deal to like basically tell stories and movies and make TV shows together. This is basically India's version of, I guess you could call it CinemaCon, and their goal is to make this like an annual thing that everybody from the world. I don't know if Hollywood had any representation there, but this looks like it went off without a hitch and was quite the success. Enterprising saying word up to Bollyland. I think it's Bollywood, but I hear what you're saying. John, are you somebody who might be looking forward to this? Of course, Akshay Kumar, one of Liz's favorite actors, was also there. So
Nope.
Shout out to Liz.
Don't care. Sorry.
Moving on to the next thing. It's all good. And in sports, Fubo says it will still launch sports pay TV bundle in time for football season. Now, to give you guys some background on this, basically, you know how there was like ESPN and Fox and I think HBO Max, or like basically Turner Sports, were all gonna combine their sports properties and make this like venue streaming service, which was literally just all of their different rights deals, including the NFL and NBA and everything in one place. Fubo had sued them, and then as part of the settlement, Disney ended up buying majority shares in Fubo, which I'm like, I don't know how that works, but whatever. So now it looks like Fubo is trying to kind of do the same thing that Venue was going to do anyway, except they have to negotiate all the rights deals with everything that's not Disney, aka ESPN. So this looks interesting, but because if this does happen by the time football season arrives this fall, that means you could potentially pay like something like, I don't know, like $50-$60 and have a streaming service that only gives you live sports, whether it is the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, maybe even the Kentucky Derby. Is Derby weekend. Hope it's not raining there. So John, are you somebody who would be excited for this? Because of course baseball is also potentially going to be a part of it, all the MLB rights and MLS maybe as well.
Nope.
Cool. Yeah, Elite Easy. It definitely does sound like a monopoly. And it's not a monopoly, but it's definitely
it's pretty much
monopolistic. Yes, there's very few players in the world of live sports, at least for the media side of things. Timothée Chalamet is set to receive an Italian award for cinematic excellence. It will honor the Dune. This Italian Cinema Academy will honor the Dune and a complete unknown star at the 70th David Di Donatello Awards on May 7th. John, excited? Interested?
I think that's pretty cool. I think he's a little young to be getting something like that.
I know, right? Like, I was thinking of, like, what is he, like Jackie Chan or something? Like, the dude's been around for 10 years. Come on, get out of here. But Enterprising, what is your football team? Enterprising is praying for his football team. Let us know what your football team is. Moving on to the next thing. BBC and Netflix, they're working on a new series called The Bombing of Pan Am 103. They have unveiled the trailer for the Lockerby series starring Connor Swindells and Patrick J. Adams. I saw this. It looks amazing. It looks interesting. It's got one of the Suit stars in there, Patrick J. Adams. You can see there, second from the right. A bunch of other people, like great cast members. I forget, what's the name of the, I can't tell. I don't remember the name of the woman there, the second from the left. She is in Severance, so that's where I know her from. I just don't know her name. But the Lockerby bombing, I mean, I think there was a documentary about that came out recently on, what was it? Max, I think. I saw it there. So this is BBC doing their own thing. John, is this something that interests you? I mean, I grew up an aviation enthusiast because, you know, my dad worked in the aviation industry. So I'm interested in this because Pan Am was, of course, one of the biggest, if not the biggest airline in its time. But the Lockerby bombing was one of the many nails in its coffin that led to its ultimate demise. What are your thoughts on this? Is this something you'd be interested in watching?
I don't think so, but I do think it's like kind of an interesting thing to cover. So yeah, for all the people that are interested, yeah, it could be cool. Could be interesting, but I don't know if I'd watch it though.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see how good it is when it comes out. I, for one, will be keeping an eye out for it. I want to know where it drops, as well as when. But Pamela Anderson, Dakota Fanning, and Lindsay Duncan are set to lead Sally Potter's next feature, Alma, Bankside launching sales at Cannes. So another Cannes story. A lot of movies going out to be sold to distributors at Cannes, including this one. John, are you excited about this? These cast of characters are certainly very, really impressive. A-listers in their own right. What are your thoughts on this?
Cool. It could be good. Like,
it could be good.
I think it's definitely a good cast. I mean, I like Lindsay Duncan, I like Pamela Anderson, and you know,
Dakota Fanning's all of them. Isn't she in the new? It was Predator Badlands. That's her movie, right? Or am I?
Nope,
no.
Elle Fanning. Sister.
They look very similar. Anyway.
Yeah, I would hope so. Or else their dad was like having some not great stuff.
Angelina Jolie is set to star in Anxious People for a Man Called Otto and World War Z director Mark Forster. Hope Studios and Black Bear. This is also coming to Cannes. Of course, this is coming to us from basically the same writer who wrote A Man Called Obi, which became A Man Called Otto, that Tom Hanks starred in for Apple TV Plus. But you know, he wrote another book which is now being turned into a movie, Anxious People, and Angelina Jolie set to star in it. John, is this one that would interest you when it comes out?
Probably not. I don't really care about Angelina Jolie. I haven't seen either of those movies. I'm sure Mark Forster is a decent director, but no, don't really care about this.
Cool. Oh, that's quite the ad on the right side by Disney Plus. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. I promised you guys at the top of the show, there's a Speed reunion happening. Keanu Reeves, looking dapper as hell, and Sandra Bullock, looking beautiful as ever, have now rejoined forces to star in a romance thriller for Amazon MGM. John, this time they're doing Speed, but like maybe speed dating? I don't know. They're getting back together for a romantic thriller in development at Amazon Studios. Plot details are still under wraps, though the studio describes the story as propulsive. Noah Oppenheim, who directed Jackie Zero Day, actually he wrote Jackie and Zero Day, is on board as a screenwriter. The producers are Bullock's Fortis films, and Reeves, of course, is also a producer. Mark Gordon and Bibi Dunn, we are the Mark Gordon company. So a bunch of producers behind this, John, but not knowing the details of the story, would you watch another Keanu and Sandra story, like, you know, Speed? Speed on a cafe? I don't know, like Speed on a train, Speed on a plane. They already did all that. Speed on a bus obviously was the first one. Now they're just Speed dating, maybe. I don't know. I'm out of puns, but like, you know, before there was John Wick, there was Speed. That was the first renaissance for Keanu Reeves' career. So.
I thought Point Break came first. Maybe it didn't. But yeah, it could be cool. Maybe it'll be an actual sequel to Speed rather than the movie that shall not be named.
Fair enough. Moving on to the next thing. I can't wait for that movie, by the way. Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons' movie Begonia from Yorgos Lanthimos has set a fall release date. That is a hard name to pronounce. It's gonna be releasing on October 24th in limited release, and then it's gonna go wide on October 31st. It comes from Focus Features. John, what are your thoughts on this? This is not the first time these two actors have come together. I think they had a movie, was it last year that they did a movie together that was nominated at the Oscars? But Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons back at it again, it looks like.
Cool. Maybe do you think there's going to be more or less sex in this movie? Because God knows there was a lot of it in Poor Things and a lot of it in Kinds of Kindness. So I think Yorgos needs to calm down and put it back in his pants and just make a movie again. Like The Lobster, that was great. The Favorite, that was great. So like,
cool. Well, moving on to the next thing, guys. Of course, now we have to talk about a bunch of Marvel stuff. We talked about Thunderbolts earlier. We have a little more to talk about now because it's, as of today, been 17 gosh darn years since the MCU began, when Iron Man first hit theaters on, would you believe it, May 2nd, 2008. The same year later on, The Dark Knight would come out. Of course, it was a banner year for comic book movies. Iconic in every which way. But Iron Man, the movie that started it all. I still get shorts on YouTube where, you know, they're showing the scene when he's like trying to evade the two F-22 Raptors in Iraq, and then he's like, Tony, you do not put your civilian equipment in my war zone. And it's like, next time, baby. But anyway, that next time did not happen. But Iron Man did happen. In fact, I mean, we're kind of getting to a full circle moment, because in those 17 years, Robert Downey Jr. has played Tony Stark all the way from the birth of Iron Man to the death of Tony Stark to being back as a different character. What are your thoughts on this movie? I mean, they introduced the 10 Rings, which they followed up with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi's in the new Avengers movies. Tony has made countless millions of dollars in the time since.
It would have been really funny, because as we know, Kang Dynasty was supposed to come out today, but we got Thunderbolts instead. But if it was fun, it would have been really funny if it was like Doomsday from the beginning, and like RDJ was always supposed to come back, and we got Avengers Doomsday today. That would have been a nice, even more full circle moment. So, you know, they built a cinematic universe in a cave with a box of scraps, and then they blew it up, and now are fucking the corpse. Cool.
God, okay. I don't know if that was a prepared statement, but that was on point.
That's one of my few lucid moments, ladies and gents. You're never gonna get something that good in a while.
What the fuck? And Caleb was like, and they won't stop. Like, okay. Yeah, I mean, Iron Man was an impossible film. It was one of the movies that, you know, they started shooting without a finished script, which apparently they're doing with Doomsday as well. So yeah, but I mean, hey, Enterprising says, first Iron Man has a special place in my young adult life. It also is one of my more memorable movies from back then. And okay, Caleb, I won't read that comment out loud, but I bet you that's, you know, the whole, they built a cinematic universe in a cave with a box of scraps. Like, that's what probably the folks over at Warner Brothers were telling DC people back in the day, because they were trying to like build a cinematic universe with freaking Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, only the three most iconic superheroes of all time, and couldn't figure it out. And yet Marvel did it with, like, before they even were owned by Disney. Like, because remember, when Iron Man came out, Disney did not own Marvel.
It was then. Paramount and artists.
And Paramount did not own them either. It was actually an indie movie from Marvel Studios that was a part of Marvel Entertainment.
That's what it was, because I know Paramount did the distribution.
Yes. which that deal ran out, I think, with the second Thor movie. I think was the last one, because you remember, even the first Avengers movie, you see the Paramount logo come up as well as the Disney logo. Like that deal ran for a few movies after Disney had even bought them. So I mean, you know, Paramount. But here's the thing, Paramount could have owned them. Paramount could have gone in and spent the money, and dude, we would have been living in a different timeline if Paramount had actually bought Marvel, because they had the relationship. They could have done it. They could have had it. They didn't do it. Disney went in and did it, and you know, we live in a different world as we do. But hey, Marvel Studios may recast Doctor Doom, speaking of RDJ, and this is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt, but according to a rumor report, Robert Downey Jr.'s Avengers role, the return rather, as Doctor Doom, it looks like, you know, while that might only be for a couple of movies, the Cosmic Circus said Doom may be recast. This is from Alex Perez, which it leads me to believe this is probably not true because he's got a very spotty track record, John. But what are your thoughts? Do you think Doctor Doom will be recast after Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars?
I hope so, because that would be a little lame just to like have him stick around. But it's probably bullshit, because how much you want to fucking guess our boy Jeff Snyder making shit up again. That wouldn't shock me. That would not shock me. So
Yep. Elite Easy saying Paramount would have been. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, we're not talking about 60 Minutes, man. Anyway, that's all. If we were to talk about that whole story, that would be one hell of a story in its own right. But moving on to the next Doomsday rumor, because we have more than one today. The rest of the Avengers Doomsday sprawling cast may have been revealed, and there are some surprises. I have a feeling we're not going to get too far in this story, because I'm about to point out the source. The Hot Mike's Jeff Snyder has shared a list of actors that are believed to be joining the movie, and he's saying while he's not 100% sure this is real, take it from rumor for the time being, some of the names that he said will join the list of characters we already know, or the actors that we already know are in the movie. We're gonna get Mark Ruffalo, so the Hulk, Benedict Wong, aka Wong, Brie Larson, aka Captain Marvel, Don Cheadle, next time baby, Karen Gillan, you know, she plays forgot her name, Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, we talked about him yesterday. Iman Vellani, of course, Miss Marvel. Danai Gurira, she was in Black Panther. Oh, I forget her character name again. Tessa Thompson, of course, Valkyrie, or the new Thor, I suppose. Kehu Kwan. Wait, where was Kehu Kwan? Was he in Loki? I think he was in Loki. Tiona Paris, of course, she's Photon. She's stuck in the X-Men universe, right? Will Poulter, who plays Adam Warlock. Dominic Thorne. Why is that? I don't know who she's playing.
She's Ironheart.
Yeah.
Everyone forgot about that.
Everyone forgot about it. I mean, Disney forgot about Ironheart. That's on them. Chotil Gomez, of course, we mentioned her. She's got a bunch of other movies coming out soon as well. Sofia DiMartino, who I really don't know who that is.
Lady Loki.
Oh, that's her. Oh, she wasn't even. Was she in the second season of Loki?
The real, I don't know. I forgot her real name, but the female Loki.
Okay, yeah. Tatiana Maslany, of course, She-Hulk, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Wonder Man. That show comes out later this year. Catherine Newton, she's Ant-Man's daughter now. Wumi Mosaku, I don't know who that is, who she plays. Lashana Lynch, you know, she plays Monica Rambeau. Famke Jensen, all right, okay, we're getting Phoenix.
Well, Lashana Lynch plays Monica Rambeau's mother, but she played a version of her.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She got yeeted by Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Caleb is like, Jeff Snyder wrote all this on his used toilet paper. Okay. Toilet paper, he said. Halle Berry, who said she's not in it, but I mean, I guess the contract isn't signed. Maybe they gave her more money. Kai Zen, I don't know who Kai Zen is. Owen Wilson, would love to have Owen Wilson back.
Mobius.
Chris Pratt, of course, we know we're getting Star-Lord.
The best Chris.
The best Chris. Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury is potentially back. Charlize Theron, who's been in just one post-credit scene so far. Benedict Cumberbatch, I love saying that name. Haley Atwell, Chris Evans, Bradley Cooper, Rocket Raccoon, okay. Vin Diesel, family's back. Maria Bakalova, Cosmo. She's the voice of Cosmo, and of course she's in Creature Commandos as well. Well, was. But you know, all of these names, John. Do you believe this is gonna actually happen, or is this just Jeff Snyder, you know, farting in the wind? What are your thoughts?
I think the latter.
The latter. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, we're gonna
Farting. A lot of farting.
Well, you know who was? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they are all farting in the wind. We can't smell it through the photos, but look at that. Look at that. There's a bunch of people in this photo. They're all have one thing in common. They're all in Avengers Doomsday, and they just had dinner with Robert Downey Jr. So he decided we're gonna take some photos and we're gonna put it online because we're all out here in the UK, so why not? And you see there, Winston Duke is there, Anthony Mackie is there. Is that Vanessa Kirby? That is Vanessa Kirby. Evan Moss-Bachrach is there. Is that RDJ in the middle? Wow, different haircut. Paul Rudd, okay. Simu Liu's there. Apparently he just came out of the swimming pool.
Channing Tatum making a
Tatum.
name for himself.
Definitely making a name for himself. And Chris Hemsworth in Thor shape and with the Ragnarok hair as well. Chris Pratt can act, Caleb. I don't know why people say he can't act. This dude literally acted his way from Parks and Rec into Guardians, like probably one of the biggest turns any actor has ever taken in their
Turned
career.
heel.
That's a Peacemaker thing. But look at these guys. They all went and saw Thunderbolts together. This looks like it's a mixing studio, like, you know, where they mix audio for movies. But you can also watch a movie in that auditorium. So a bunch of these guys, they all saw. Simu Liu still looks like he just came out of a swimming pool with those shorts on. It just looks like he's just beaching people all day. If you know, you know. But then moving on to the next thing.
Hello, Man of Steel Magnolias. Very nice to see you.
Hello, Man of Steel Magnolia. Speaking of Man of Steel Magnolias, guys, hit the like button. There's like twice as many of you watching as there are likes on this video. We do appreciate it. It helps us out a lot. It's one little click for you, but it makes a big impact for us. Speaking of making a big impact, Marshall Ali was hoping to make a big one, but he couldn't do his big one because they couldn't figure the shit out of the Blade movie. So now it looks like, you know, the Blade movie is on the shelf. But does that mean Marshall Ali is done with the idea of playing Blade? Maybe not, John, because apparently, according to a scoop, it looks like he may yet play Blade, except, you know, he might not be doing it in his own movie. So Daniel Rickman said even though Blade is on pause, Marvel still wants Marshall Ali to play the character. John, do you believe this? Do you think this means we're gonna see Blade in one of the Avengers movies that are coming up, or maybe that Midnight Suns project that they've been talking about for the longest time?
I think he's just like, you know what? Keep me on backlog. I'm gonna do 5 other movies in the meantime. If you wanna, however long you wanna take, I'll just do
12 other movies.
I'll do like fucking, you know, the next Jurassic World with Black Widow and Guy from Wicked. So like, I'm good to go. You do you. I'll take forever. It's fine. I got these in the meantime. Whenever you're good and ready, I can, you know, come back into the fold and just do my thing. And then imagine wasting Mahershala Ali, the talent of Mahershala Ali, fucking twice in the same franchise. Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
I'm still mad they fucking killed him off in Luke Cage. That was like the biggest cardinal fucking sin. And that's a great show too. So I'm still mad. Like, and the thing is, Alfred Woodard is a great actress. I fucking hated Black Mariah, and not in like a hateable villain kind of way. I hated her because she was fucking annoying. She was so annoying in that show. And it's like, really? This is the bitch that fucking replaces Cottonmouth? Come on. Really? Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I'm so mad.
Speaking of
mad, guys.
Speaking of the Netflix Marvel shows, apparently one of the scene headings got leaked from the Avengers Doomsday script. Somebody's gonna get fired, and it shows an Iron Fist house in the 1960s. John, is Iron Fist in Avengers Doomsday? Not to mention his house. Explain. I guess. Like, what do you think this might be? Is this fake? Is this real?
I say bullshit.
Is this a code name for somebody else? Maybe Iron Man House?
Like somebody's saying like, oh, it might be because Iron, like ruling with an iron fist, and it means Doctor Doom. But I think that's jumping. I think it's just fake. I think it's just bullshit because they're very like. Why is first of all, the font looks fucking weird. First off, and second, I just like. Because the thing is, Marvel likes to bob and weave this character because, like, they think it's like a racist character, even though he's not. But like, so I don't think they're gonna use him here. It would be nice to see Iron Fist. I would like to see, Danny Rand come back in, whether he's played by Finn Jones or not. Just get him an actual, I get what they're like. It looks like the comic book font that's in like an actual like an old school comic book. So
yeah,
I can see that. It's just like I don't believe it. I don't believe this.
I mean, but also the timeline, right? Like Caleb and Enterprising and Elite Easy all asking, why is it in the 1960s? Is it something to do with the Fantastic Four? Even though, I mean, they were in a different timeline, or they are in or I guess until they come to ours, but for the sacred timeline. But yeah. Hey, at least it's not the Avatar font. What was the Avatar font again? Why am I blanking on this? Somebody tell me in the chat.
Papyrus.
At least
How
it's
can
not
you forget,
Papyrus.
Dan?
I don't know. It's been a long day.
It's just Papyrus, but bolded.
Bold. Yeah. God. That performance alone should get Ryan. It should get him an Oscar. He didn't win it for Ken, but Ryan Gosling deserves an Oscar for Papyrus. At least it's not in Papyrus. But anyway, John, Marvel, Fantastic Four. Speaking of the Fantastic Four, they're from the 60s, or a version of the 60s from an alternate reality. Marvel just put out a bunch of collectible cards featuring not just the four of the Fantastic Four, but also their friendly neighborhood robot. So you've got Reed Richards there, Mr. Fantastic. You've got Sue Storm as Invisible Woman. This is official merchandise. This is not fan art. Ben Grimm, of course, is a thing. You have Johnny Storm as the Human Torch, and you've got Herbie. They say they're introducing Herbie, that's kind of meta because, I mean, this is the first Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, so why are they introducing Herbie? As in, are we gonna... John, okay, you know what? I'm reading too much into this. I know that for sure. But the fact that they don't say introducing behind any of the other characters, but they do for Herbie. Do you think that means by the time we get to Secret Wars, we're going to get other iterations, the previous iterations of the Fantastic Four involved as well?
Wait, what do you mean by that? What?
Okay, when you go to watch a movie and they say introducing name of the actor, it's the first time they're in a movie, right? So you look at these card designs. And follow me here. By the way, you also get one stick of bubblegum with this, which is cool. They have Reed Richards as Mr. Fantastic. You can see that there. Sue Storm is Invisible Woman. Ben Grimm is The Thing. Johnny Storm is Human Torch. And then they say introducing Herbie. Do you think that's because this is the first Fantastic Four movie where we have had a Herbie, and then we're going to get the other older Fantastic Four as like these multiversal versions in Secret Wars?
Yeah,
or do you think this is like meant to be meta, as in this is something that the people in the world of the Fantastic Four could get for themselves, and they know the four public figures of Fantastic Four?
I think
but
it's
they've
just
never
like
seen Herbie.
We're getting this character on the big screen for the first time, and it's like that's kind of it. I don't think there's anything deeper than that.
I wish I could play the X-Files music because I was going way too deep on that one. Yeah. Caleb, man, you gotta go there, man. Yeah, I did kind of go Alex Jones on that one. Sorry. Just imagine, guys. At least I don't have the voice to shout as loud as he does. Is he still a thing? I don't know if it's still a thing. But Ryan Reynolds is still a thing. He's in the early stages of exploring a Deadpool and X-Men team-up movie, John. This is an exclusive from The Hollywood Reporter saying that the Deadpool mastermind is toying with writing treatments for a film that would feature 3 or maybe even 4 members of Marvel's mutant team, but he has not yet pitched an idea to the studio, aka Kevin Feige. but it looks like he wants to bring back Deadpool, except not in his own movie. Like, he doesn't want to do Deadpool 4. He wants to do another X-Men team up, except not the main X-Men movie, because that's not the one he's working on. Marvel's working on an X-Men movie supposedly, but Ryan Reynolds wants to do one with Deadpool in it as part of a team, because it feels like that could be a nice different dynamic that they haven't explored yet with Deadpool, where he actually gets to be. But although he's had other X-Men in all 3 of his previous movies, so I don't know, John, what are your thoughts on this? Would you like to see Deadpool back? Would you like to see him team up with a bunch of other X-Men and do it in the MCU? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not gonna watch it because no Marvel for me, but if he wants to do that, then that's a-okay. I think he should cast Justin Baldoni in the lead role, and I think that would be really awesome. I think he should.
Dude, don't say his name. He will sue us. You don't know. The dude sues everything in sight.
That's who Justin Baldoni should play. Boom.
There you go. There you go. He will be a mutant. And speaking of mutants, we have mutated our way to the end of the quick hits. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank God. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The somewhat quick hits. Or the not quick hits. But anyway, that was the news section of the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. A bunch of stories from Marvel, of course, Thunderbolts, Doomsday, Deadpool, and just Deadpool, not Wolverine. Unless, Wolverine is one of these other mutants that it would be in the movie. Coleman Domingo's directorial debut we talked about. Of course, the Speed reunion is about to happen. Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock getting back together for a romantic thriller over at Amazon MGM. Lots more stories beyond that, of course, we talked about. So let us know in the comments down below which of those were your favorite. And hit the like button while you're at it, because now it's time to talk about DC. It's the main event of the show. So welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily. This is, of course, the final episode of the week of DCU Daily. Not to worry, though. We have lots to talk about. We have a Q&A session coming up for you. We have a bunch of Superman stuff. We have some Supergirl news. We want to dive a little bit deeper into the news from earlier in the week on the Sergeant Rock situation. What's going on with that movie? Is it actually going to happen now that they've held on to it or basically shelved it for a year, or postponed it, put it on hold, whatever words you want to use to describe the whole situation. And beyond that, we have a few other news stories as well. So to talk about all of those and so much more, as per always with me, John, which of the stories that I just mentioned, piques your interest the most?
Again, the Supergirl stuff is exciting because it's like we talk a lot about Superman, and not saying that gets old or anything. It's just like it's nice to see like something a little different. So I always get excited about Supergirl, even though I'm still kind of on the rocks on whether or not I'm actually, gonna I'm excited for that, but I'm still for the most part interested. And it's mainly for Lobo, but even then it's like a little bit different because it's like Superman. We're getting that in like 2 months, essentially 2 months and a couple days. So it's 70 days. Thanks, Man of Steel.
Thank you, Man of Steel.
So Supergirl is just like a different change of pace. Like, oh, Lanterns. Oh, Peacemaker. Oh, something different that's not just Superman. Because we can test that in a couple months. Meanwhile, we have a year for Lanterns, a year for Supergirl, even longer for Clayface. So it's nice to see those things come about.
Yeah, Caleb can't wait for the mutant monkeys. I don't know what you're talking about, Caleb. You know what? It's not a threat. I'm just saying we do the shows Monday through Friday. Today's Friday, so it is the final DCU Daily of the week.
I will say the way he made it sound like it was going to be the final DCU Daily.
No,
ever.
we're not
stop right before 300.
We won't edge you like that. Yeah. The John's like hard dropped for a second. He's like, what? Like, this what is going on? Anyway, it's time to talk about DC news. It's the conclusion to the week. Let's call it that. We're gonna wrap up the week on DCU Daily with a bunch of good stuff, but there is some somber news today to kick things off, John, because legendary DC and Marvel artist Jackson Butch Geis, or I'm not sure if that's how you say his name. I apologize if I messed that up, but he passed away recently at the age of 63. Rest in peace, Jackson. What are your thoughts on this? He, of course, was involved in writing a bunch of X-Men comics. He wrote a lot of DC as well. Age of 63, gone too soon. Most people hopefully get to live a lot longer. But you know, he had quite the resume and a portfolio that and legacy that he leaves behind, including Superman comics. Of course, Superman is our favorite superhero these days on DCU Daily. So, what are your thoughts on the passing of Jackson Booch, guys? He was recently been dealing with some health problems, so it looks like you know, he lost that battle. John, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's always sad to see. I mean, I didn't know the name actually. I was not familiar with his work, but you know, it's sad to see because it seemed like he was a legend. So, you know, gotta honor that. And yeah, I mean, it's great art from, you know, the little I've seen here. But yeah, always a shame. But we have his art to look back on. You know, we have something to remember him by. So that's always nice to see.
Yeah, as the Daily Kryptonian said, gone way too soon. May he rest in peace, such a legend, and rest in peace indeed. R.I.P. from everybody in the chat. And yeah, but we'll have his works to celebrate him for a long, long time to come, including some iconic Superman artwork. I'm sure that mullet is something even Zack Snyder would be proud of. But moving on to the next thing.
Even though he didn't include it, but that's beside the point.
That's besides the point. But you know what it is? Not besides the point is we've got another look at the suit because it's out on display at Osaka Comic-Con, John, and we've got people cosplaying James Gunn now. So this is I think this is meant to be one of the suits that he wore at one of the premieres recently. James Gunn did. It was like a lime yellow, I guess. But you see behind him, of course, Superman, and then you know he's standing in front of KRYPTO. We actually have a closer look at this. Let me see if I can find that one. There you go. So this is an unobstructed view at both KRYPTO and Superman for scale. I mean, we've already kind of seen that in the movie trailers, but there you go. It's a little more tangible there. You've got KRYPTO there next to Superman, the trunks,
and
the bulge.
Dan.
I see it. I see it.
You gotta zoom in. You gotta zoom in. You gotta show the people that it's there. You know, you gotta show the people. There it is. Look at that.
There. It's right there.
Beautiful.
Look at it. Oh,
look at it.
Wait, it's escaping us. There we go.
It's escaping us. Can't have it escape. There it is.
Can't have escapes right there. There it is.
There's the shot right there. Now I'll zoom into this.
Okay, we don't need to see Corenswet
right there
bulge, but
I'm just like, I don't know. Do we need that? Like, because it's sort of like
my beard was so much shorter back then.
Yeah, you have grown it out. I noticed. So
that's not the only thing that's growing. Hey.
I don't know what you're talking about. But there he is. There's Superman with the long
Caleb,
tail.
look at the Daily Globe. Yes, very nice, Caleb.
Oh, KRYPTO. That's the cutest part of this image. There's KRYPTO.
That looks more real than in the movie.
Dude, the fur doesn't look real. That looks like a wax statue. Come on now.
I will say.
Let's be.
I will say, in the movie, he looks very good. Like considering, like you know, like
dude, I've seen a lot worse CGI.
The bottom is like the Call of the Wild dog, which is terrible. He looks good. Like, especially when he's like not like jumping or having a lot of expressions or like super zoomed up. He looks like when he barks at the front of the fortress, he looks very real and very good.
Not to mention the motion on the dog. Like I don't know if they're doing motion capture, if it's hand animated, but the motion is amazing because that's one of those things that you gotta wonder. Like it's not gonna be easy to get right. Even today in 2025, getting the actual motion of the dog right in 3D is hard, or any animal for that matter. So I know they had a real dog that kind of looked like KRYPTO on set. Maybe even James Gunn brought Ozu along on a few days, so they had quite a bit of actual reference. But yeah, the animation looked fantastic. The CGI so far looks great, especially because you got to imagine maybe some of those shots might not be completely finished in the sense that you always have some unfinished shots in the trailers. So by that measure, KRYPTO looks amazing. And if the movie comes out and there's a few shots where you're like, oh, that was a little, you know, a hit and miss, then, you know, I guess we'll just have to be like, James Gunn, you had like a year and a half, man. But so far, I think he's getting it right. Dog boo, restore the Snyder. No, come on, Kayla. We're not here to talk about the Snyderverse. We're not restoring the Snyderverse. But these pictures are great. I love him. John, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna get more stuff like this at Comic-Con this year, like the San Diego Comic-Con that is, of course, because this one is in Osaka in Japan?
Sure. I mean, although he did say, "Oh, it's not going to be much of a splash because the movie already came out." I mean, fuck all the other future movies we have, but like, yeah, we're not going to
Dude,
we're not
I
going to have
am
a big
sure
presence.
they're gonna have a presentation. They just didn't want to promise anything. I feel like that they're just messing with us. They have to be there. Like Marvel's gonna be there. Marvel's gonna go all out. Like they're gonna give you every. They're probably gonna reveal the rest of the cast of Doomsday at CinemaCon or Comic Con. So I gotta imagine DC's gonna do something. I mean, where else are you gonna do it? Like last year, they had an excuse because they were filming the movie. But come on now, Lanterns, Supergirl, Clayface, maybe Sergeant Rock. Like I don't know. Like it's come on. We gotta get something. Enterprising saying they did do their due diligence to match real dog behavior and movements. Yes, they did. Like you said, Crypto looks very real in the movie so far based on the trailers. I don't know about Five Ash. He might not agree with that sentiment. But anyway, moving on to the next thing. This story was brought to us by Elite Easy because he mentioned it yesterday in the chat. And so here we are talking about it because I missed it in the news yesterday. It was an exclusive for Variety talking about how BioWorld is going to be continuing their 20-year partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery ahead of James Gunn's Superman. BioWorld is the merchandising company behind. I think we had shown like the backpack and a hat that they've created. So that's some of the merchandise that they've made.
Yeah, they were
already for
bringing that up,
Superman.
and I wasn't sure like if I
Yeah.
should bring it up. Sorry for ignoring your comments. That was not. I wasn't sure what you guys were talking about, so my bad. I apologize.
Just Some Geeky Guy is in the chat, and he's already dropped in a super chat. Thank you so much, Just Some Geeky Guy. As always, we appreciate the super chat. I'm gonna bring that into the conversation in a little bit. But yeah, this is great news. I mean, again, more partnerships, and we love it. We love to see it. It's always gonna help with just the brand awareness in general for Superman. Here's the super chat from Just Some Geeky Guy saying, which video game studio would you guys like to see make a Superman video game? I personally want to see Avalanche Studios produce one. John, I'll let you answer that question. Which video game studio would you like to see make a Superman game? Maybe Rockstar?
Monolith. Oh wait. Just anybody that can produce something. I'm not really familiar with like gaming like studios. Like I know like all the kind of bigger ones, but honestly, AAA gaming fucking blows right now. So like everything's way too expensive. Everything kind of sucks. The last wisps of hope for the gaming industry with Xbox finally went down the shitter now that they declared that by the end of the year, $80 games are going to be the norm for them. So I'm gonna just play my backlog, and I think that's what a lot of other people are gonna do because it's just everything's gonna get way too expensive, especially in this day and age when the economy is just terrible. But you're gonna have the fanboys and stands that are gonna fucking eat this shit up no matter what. So there's that, but that's just sadness in regards to the industry. I'm not really familiar with like gaming studios, so just a good one, someone that can do it. Like I don't know who that would be, but feel free to say so in the comments, guys. Because the thing is, I play video games. And I know a little bit about like current events. Mainly through memes, but sometimes through shorts and stuff like that. But like, I don't know a lot when it comes to like the gaming studios, mainly because they're being shut down every other week. But like at the same time, it's also like I play I play fucking Sims, guys. Like I don't fucking play like Bloodborne and Clear Expedition 33 or whatever Clear Expedition 33, whatever the fuck it's called. I don't really. Okay. Then yeah, sure. That sounds good. You know better than me. Cool. Sounds good. That's okay. The weekend will be done before you know it. So then we'll be back. We're gonna be here. We're gonna give you all the news and stuff. So yeah. It'll be okay, Steven. I don't really know where to go from here, but
It's all good. I just wanted to like let that silence sit for a second, see if you.
Yeah, too much navel gazing, Dan. We can't have silence. We can't have just two people having a conversation.
Such is the world that we live in today. Silence is the enemy. Sometimes you just want to meditate. David Corenswet likes to meditate because that's one of his inspirations. He likes to play, or he is kind of taking a liking to playing Clark Kent as this very inconspicuous and quiet person when he's not Superman. And I think this is just beautiful to see, like the amount of work he did as an actor to not just look back into the archives and see how Christopher Reeves did it, as well as also even getting some inspiration from his own brother, saying David Corenswet. And this was a really interesting update that came across my timeline. Apparently, he prepared to play Clark Kent by drawing on the All-Star Superman comics, which you know about. That's one of the big ones that James Gunn is inspired by as well. He also took inspiration from Christopher Reeve's posture, because if you guys remember, he was kind of like always hunched over a little bit when he was playing Clark, but then he was always like, chest bursting out front, as Man of Steel Magnolias would say when he was addressed as Superman. And you can see some of that with David Corenswet's Superman as well. He also took inspiration from the voice and demeanor of his brother-in-law. I mentioned brother earlier, so brother-in-law, not his brother. And his brother-in-law is a pretty big dude, 6'8" and 270 pounds, but he's very discreet, and so David Corenswet wanted to kind of capture that in his Clark Kent performance, just this quiet spirit. He has a commanding presence, but he tries to be as inconspicuous and quiet as possible. We talk about it all the time. Literally every casting photo, like David Corenswet is lost in there somewhere. Like he's always missing, even though he's right. He's hiding in plain sight, and you could really see that in his performance and the way he carries himself. Maybe even who he is as a person. He's just a nice guy, and that's what James Gunn has said. That's what pretty much everybody else who's worked on this movie has said. John, what do you think? Do you think these are all the right cues for what Superman and Clark Kent could be and should be, and I guess will be this summer when Superman comes out?
It's just always exciting to see. I think, I remember seeing stuff about their relationship. We might talk about that later, but I liked that stuff because I was reading about that earlier today. So that was really cool to see. I think, it's just I know everyone's making fun of the haircut and stuff like that, but I think it works and I like it. And from what we saw of the that one shot where he's going into the Daily Planet in the trailer, I think that perfectly encompasses, yes, he's a head above everyone, but at the same time he's just kind of one with the crowd at the same time. He's I can't really explain it, but it just works, it just perfectly works. And I like that, and I like all the stuff he's saying here. But yeah, I think the having the, and then him just being oh, hey guys, and then just being and then just being that famous shot is just I'm sure we're gonna get something like that where he's the posture is everything. And I know everyone's gonna be oh, I would be able to point him out. No, you wouldn't. Shut the fuck up. Come on now. What do you think this is?
Oh my God, John, you were gone for 5 minutes. Some other dude was on the show.
I'm not shit. Commissioner Gordon. Who are you? Commissioner Gordon.
You know what I will say? There's a scene in the trailer where it seems like Lois is calling out to him at the Daily Planet, and he turns around. He's huh? And he's got the curly hair thing going. That versus that image that they released a few days ago of Superman and Lois looking at each other. I'm those are two different people. I would I know that Lois kind of figures it out, hopefully, or maybe even by the time the movie starts she already knows that that's Superman. But I'm if you were a stranger, you wouldn't necessarily be able to put the one and the other together as that's the same person, right? It's I think when it comes down to it, more so than pretty much anybody since Christopher Reeve, this version of Superman and Clark Kent look like two different people. and that's obviously a big part of the whole character and just how it's always been portrayed in the comics. And David Corenswet might have just nailed it as good, if not as well as anybody ever has. So I'm excited about that. Just some geeky guys giving you a name, John. John without glasses is Jim. Well, there you go.
It's just like, and then I'm just like, gotta do the I gotta do the Jim Halpert face then because of that.
Yeah, you gotta look at the camera. You gotta look at the camera. Anyway, just the stare at the camera. I'm not gonna take my glasses off, but I'm sure you've seen my alter ego. He's a wannabe actor who almost got the role of Maverick in Top Gun Maverick. Then Tom Cruise won it back. So those glasses are hidden away, so I'm not bringing those out today. But anyway, moving on to the next story. We're gonna talk about Supergirl now. We're moving on from Superman to Supergirl.
Whoa, Supergirl fights 3 guys. I think this is the...
Nope. I meant to start here. Actually, no. Wait, hold on. No, I do want to talk about this. Okay. X being X. But John, we haven't shown this video yet. Looks like they were shooting recently a whole fight sequence where it looks a little janky, but I'm sure it's not gonna all be like a oneer.
Yeah, it's not gonna it's not gonna be like all in one shot where it's just like
you can see there she's like waiting for them to show up to kick him, and then
I don't think any of these guys are Lobo. I think these are just generic soldiers. These are just generic everyone's like, oh, they're Lobo, they're Lobo. No, I like now that we see it in motion, none of these. It's just like generic.
Yeah.
Dudes.
You can see though they have 2 cameras on boom, so they are doing it. This is a multi-camera shoot, so I don't know what they're actually filming in terms of the angle.
And I'm sure the scene is gonna get shit. It's gonna get a lot of shit because people suck and they hate nice things.
Yeah. KCN Nico in the chat as well. Hello guys, how are you doing today? Man of Steel Magnolia saying comb your beard to the side. Oh, okay. Yeah, John. See, now if you do that, that will really, make people think you're Jim. Elite Easy is saying Batman 3 Jokers, Superman 3 Lobos. Okay. Enterprise. Everybody in the chat, you guys keep talking about this whole mutant monkey thing. We talked about it like, what was it, Monday, Tuesday? The thing dropped over like the course of last weekend. Like, it's old news. James Gunn hasn't mentioned it. The fact that he hasn't debunked it would lead you to believe maybe it's true, but just because he hasn't debunked it doesn't mean it's true. So, as far as where we stand, look, it sounds pretty crazy. If it's true, cool. It sounds, like it would fit into this world because this world is very heightened. It's not like this grounded reality. There's superheroes around every 7-Eleven in this world already. So I would say cool. Like, that's the Lex Luthor we're getting. That's a kind of Lex Luthor we're getting. Certainly the opposite of the one who shoves Jolly Ranchers into your mouth, so it's a very different kind of Lex Luthor. But Enterprising was saying whether the mutant monkey thing is true or not, it probably won't be more than a passing minute, a tongue-in-cheek joke, nowhere near as horrible as it's being made out to be. Exactly. I think we're getting it out of context. Even if it is part of the movie, it's probably not going to be something that's going to become like this huge moment. And certainly not going to be big enough of a part of the plot to be embarrassing to the movie in any way, I don't think. Hugo Millie saying, I can't remember if they visit a sand planet in the comic. For Supergirl. I don't know either, man. I don't think I've gone far enough in the comic myself to know or to that's in there. So maybe somebody else who has seen or who has read this Woman of Tomorrow can let us know. I wish Lenny was here. She read it. So, just some geeky guys saying, do you guys think they'll inevitably make a joke about Superman wearing his underwear on the outside? Yes, I think so. I think they will. That's definitely going to happen. Yeah. Enterprising saying if John did part his beard, he'd look like a gnome. Cool. Like Super Blink is here. Hello, Super Blink.
I don't know what you mean. I assume that's what you meant, but I don't know.
I think that's what he meant. Yes, I think that's what he meant. But moving on to the next Supergirl thing. Of course, they're filming still. The shot that we were just looking at, the behind the scenes video, was from, I believe, at least a few weeks ago. So it's not recent. But they're currently either simultaneously filming or they've maybe a second unit. Because it seems like certainly a lot of the stuff they were filming at that set was second unit photography, meaning like it was all stunts. Although they did have Kara there, aka Millie Alcock, Lobo, of course, played by Jason Momoa. He rapped already. David Krumholtz recently rapped as well. He plays Supergirl's father. So Supergirl right now is filming in Scotland, John, the beautiful, beautiful country of Scotland. Of course, we had Fiona in the chat earlier. I don't know if she's still around, but the shout out to her homeland. And they're out there. And it looks like they're filming at a house in Scotland. I think I saw some video of it from Unbox PhD, gracing us with some images, like some pretty far flung images, but you can see they're either scouting for the location, or you can see there's a bunch of trailers there for, I'm sure, all the actors and crew filming at a house in rural Scotland, kind of similar to like what we saw in Skyfall with James Bond. What are your thoughts, John? What do you think they might be filming out there? Do you think these are Earth scenes? It doesn't look like it would be Smallville or anything like that. Like, what do you think this is a part of? Like, is this meant to be an alien planet? Like, what do you think Scotland is going to stand in for in the movie?
I mean, Scotland is already technically like an alien planet, so it kind of works. All our, if Lenny were here, she would be pissed. But
Fiona would be
I think she left. I think she's gone now. I think we offended her too much.
Lenny, well, we miss Lenny. Maybe
we
do
miss Lenny.
Work her way around back onto the channel eventually.
Yeah, it's just it. Whatever it be, I don't know. I don't want to guess. Let's just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I've been to Scotland. It's been years since I've been to Scotland.
No, because I'm not. I'm too pale. I'm too pale for that. I'm too white for that.
Jalen says that's an interesting location to be filming at, and then Hugo Millie suggesting that could it be Ruthie's planet? That could be it. That is possible. They also and we were talking about Marvel earlier, of course, and Marvel shot a bunch of what fills in for the new Asgard on Earth in Scotland, actually, on the shores of Scotland. So we know that Scotland's kind of already in the MCU, so maybe we'll get that. We're getting it in the DCU too. Ruthie's Planet is a good idea as well. In the meantime, of course, Man of Steel, Magnolia had a question saying, any guesses on when the Superman tickets will go on sale, John? While I pull up the next story, do you want to address that?
Speaking of, I already bought my Mission Impossible Final Reckoning tickets because I want to get them before that gets sold out, maybe, if the, projections are anything to go by. But I don't know when they usually start to go. I would imagine would a month be a good?
Yeah, no, that's a good
prediction?
Could be even longer than
I
that,
think
like 6 weeks, maybe. Like, so I'm guessing maybe
I would say
June.
like mid-June.
They're getting closer. Right? I feel like at this point we're weeks away from the tickets going on sale, not so much like months away. So literally in a few weeks' time, if I had my timing right, in a few weeks from today, maybe like on a Monday or Tuesday, like towards the end of May, I bet you the tickets will go on sale. In fact, I feel like that's probably when we're gonna get that next trailer. The first full trailer is gonna be like tickets on sale tomorrow, tickets on sale now. You see the trailer, you buy the tickets. Perfect opportunity to, that's a perfect call to action. Get your tickets now. From a marketing standpoint, it would be ideal. So if you were to go off of that timeline, then maybe to answer a question you guys didn't ask, but we talk about it every day. I think the Superman trailer probably drops in the next few weeks, and that's when the tickets go on sale. I wouldn't be surprised that they kind of follow that 6 week, 6 week timeline leading up to the release. Because like all of June plus part of July leading up to the movie coming out is like 6 weeks. So, and we're in May, so probably three more weeks to go, and then we'll get the tickets. Superblink saying, I think Supergirl is going to look amazing, maybe a lot better than Doomsday. Dude, I can't wait. Next year is going to be so much fun. It's and can you imagine? I mean, I'm sure Doomsday will make more money, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But hey, you know what? Do you see the graphic there? Sergeant Rock. We mentioned earlier in the week when the news dropped that they've halted pre-production on the movie. They're now eyeing a summer 2026 production start date because they felt like if they were to get it going this year, they would be rushing it. They have Colin Farrell apparently attached. Luca Guadagnino still directing. They have a done script. In fact, they cast two other actors, Mike Feist and what was the other actor's name I saw? It was David Johnson. So you have three names, including, of course, Colin Farrell, who's already played the Penguin for DC. John, the simple question I want to ask you is, do you feel like, given that Luca Guadagnino has like three other movies lined up, is he gonna get back to this? Like, do you think this movie is gonna actually happen next year? Like, can they stick to that timeline given how busy all these people are? Because pushing it back by a year certainly gives you a lot more time to get quite a few, of your affairs in order in terms of getting ready for production. But it also means that there's a lot more uncertain. Like, a lot of things can happen between now and then. So, do you think this movie actually goes into production a year from now?
I would hope so, because I think that's, I think that makes sense, because it's like, I mean, they already did say like winter would be a lot of trouble, especially for a war movie, especially for a grounded war movie that doesn't have a big budget. So I think that would work. And the thing is, I would like to see this because, again, it would be different. Like I've said this so many times, like the planned movies we have that are specifically in the DCU, we have Superman, which is like a family, like hopeful family movie that's surrounding like, the like Silver Age ideas. Then
I don't have friends. I got family.
Yes. Then you have then the next one, Supergirl, is kind of this like action adventure neo-western in space with like kind of like a punk rock attitude, it seems like. Then for the movies that don't, and then you have Clayface, which is, it's going to be a body horror movie.
Supposedly later this year. Yeah.
So you have that. Then you have Swamp Thing, a gothic horror movie, Brave and the Bold, which is going to be like, again, like kind of maybe more like Bronze Age Batman, like kind of having those like familial ties, but not like totally like that, but like kind of like darker edge, but not like as dark as the Batman or realistic as that, but still having those ideas. And then The Authority, which is like an anti-hero group, which is like stone cold, like 90s excess action kind of vibes. So, and then you have the Teen Titans, which is like, like kind of,
which by the way is
like
not confirmed.
Stranger Things kind of, but like I'm just saying, like everything that's like kind of, but like a war movie would, oh my god, throw in a war movie in there. That's really cool with maybe some supernatural elements. That would be really
of the
cool.
slate. Yeah.
And I hope that they would put GI Robot in there, but considering it's Luca Guadagnino, I could see them not doing that. That maybe this is before he came in, so to not have that, because
it might be completely separate, like, because again, like he wants to maybe
we don't know yet.
Thing. So
we don't know if it's going to be in or not. I mean, it would be really dumb to have it be not really dumb, but it would be kind of dumb to have it be an Elseworld story when we've literally seen Sergeant Rock and Easy Company. Like we have that version, so it would be kind of ridiculous. I mean, maybe it'll be sort of like a floating continuity where it's like it's not said that it's in the DCU, so like Luca Guadagnino can like do his thing, but it's like, but James Gunn will be like, it's essentially in there, but like maybe it's like before GI Robot comes in or something like that. So
yeah. Just some geeky guys saying, I love The Authority run by Mark Miller, which is weird because a lot of his work is trash. Super Billing saying it's on hold. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the only thing that worries me about all of this is the fact that they've moved it by a year and you have some A-list talent attached to this. They're all in demand. Now, given that they're pushed it by a year, I'm sure they want to keep these people attached, and maybe they talked about schedules, and they've still got holds on these, folks' schedules, including Luca Guadagnino, Colin Farrell, David Johnson, Mike Feist, and everybody else who might be attached to the movie, that they will come back and work on this next summer. But a lot can happen in a year, so that's really, the roll of the dice a little bit, because now, this thing is going to just gestate for a year. And depending on how other DC projects turn out, maybe this thing gets canceled. A lot crazier things have happened before. We have seen all kinds of comic book movies that every stage of pre-production get canceled before they ever got into production. So it's always worrying when this movie, a movie like this, and especially this one, gets delayed by a year. But like Man of Steel Magnolias was saying, I believe you'll get it before Blade. So I think that's a pretty good assumption there on your part. But
before GTA 6, anyway,
before GTA, well, yeah, if it holds, if that new release date holds. But you know what? We have to end the week like we always do, and that's with the Q&A session, John. So you picked out a total of 5 comments from all you guys who were in the comments section throughout the week. So I'm gonna bring them up one by one. We're gonna knock them down, and then we're gonna go off into the weekend. Heroes. So
all
the
right.
first one comes to us from JB1138. I haven't watched the Oscars in a very long time, and knowing that these actors and Hollywood people have not seen the films they're voting on just makes this whole event such BS. John, we talked about this earlier in the week. Your thoughts?
This was 2 days ago, and this was on the short that was posted. Because fully agree. Not much to say. Both me and Liz had our rants in regards to that. I was literally ranting to my dad earlier today because he didn't know anything about it. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And he was like so pissed. And I'm like, and then I started to get pissed again. He's like, calm down. I'm like, I can't. It fucking makes me mad. So yeah, that just pretty much adds to the whole discussion of it, where it's just like bullshit. So yeah. Thank you for your comment, JB. Hard agree on that, because they
at the very least they should be watching the movies, not like just hitting play and then I don't know, like walking away. Like that's not fair.
Cool, guys.
Liz, and you had some really strong takes on that earlier this week. You guys should go back and watch that episode. That was very
or you can go back and watch the short. It's like
just the short. We had like 3 of them actually. I put up 3 different ones. But anyway, John, the next one comes to us from Elite Easy E,
who is watching right now.
You are in the chat, my friend.
Yes,
and you were just kind of opining a little bit and asking a question as well, saying, "Is there any way that DC can buy the rights to Neil Gaiman's work so I can get my Dead Boy Detectives and Dream in the DCU? I miss my boys, and they're so perfectly cast." John, what are your thoughts on that one? Dead Boy Detectives did get canceled after 1 season, by the way.
Yes. I don't think it's just like buying the rights, because DC owns the rights. They have the rights to Neil Gaiman's work. It's not that. It's just that they don't want to make anything by Neil Gaiman right now because of the controversy. So, DC already has the rights because they own Vertigo. They own like all that stuff. So, yeah, it's not a question of rights. It's a question of they don't want to make projects that were featuring like from a guy that's going through a lot of has a lot of controversy, and they don't want to be associated with that. It's just like, it's purely, so you're probably not going to get any Sandman stuff, at least for like 10 years, probably, which is a shame because it's a great, illustrious world. It's just Neil Gaiman had to be a fucking piece of shit. So, it's unfortunately we can't get that, but you're probably not going to see your boys for a very long time. Sorry to Elite Easy. That's just the reality, because some people can't keep the mitts to themselves. So, but next comment from JB. Really appreciate this. Going hook, line, and sinker on Wendy's. I must defend Wendy's honor. Their fries are excellent, natural cut fries with sea salt. And burgers, have you had the Baconator? Yes. And it's fucking delicious. It's one of the best fast food burgers of all time. Period, bar none. So thank you, JB, for agreeing with me on that, because Wendy's is goated and it's the best. So, I haven't had every single one, but Wendy's out of the ones I've had is up there. I got to do like a tier list. Maybe we'll do like tier list Tuesdays. Sure, that'll do it. That'll do it. All right. I mean, people love tier lists.
Let's do it. Tier list Tuesday. Tier lists are the goat. We could do that. Let's make that a segment on the show. Done.
Yes, we'll do, and we'll bring back fan casting Fridays. Boom, add that too.
Will.
I think we did talk about that. I don't know, but
we did.
Yeah,
and we're gonna go beyond DC too. We're gonna fan cast Indiana Jones, James Bond. I don't know. Say it and we'll do it. Anyway, next comment, John.
But next comment. This was a couple days ago when we were talking about Wonder Woman fan casting. I really hope Camilla Morone gets to audition for Wonder Woman. Something tells me she would ace the role on numerous levels. Now I'm going to quickly look up Camilla Morone. I don't know who she is. I haven't seen any of her filmography. She is 27 years old. I think she might be a little bit too young. I think they want to maybe try to go for a little bit older, maybe like early 30s. But I think if she's a good actor, then I would say do it. Why not? I think that could be really great. Add it to the long list of people, including Isaac Gonzalez. That's who Zatanna fan 94 was saying, Isaac Gonzalez for Wonder Woman. So, I mean, I kind of agree with that as well. I was talking about that. I was saying how she, after her performance in Ash, she would definitely nail Jessica Cruz. I think that would be really awesome as well. But whoever it is, I think they will pick someone. I mean, they've already got so many great castings. So Isaac Gonzalez or Camilla Morone or Adria Arjona or anybody else, I think they would do a great job.
Oh, she's in that new movie.
She's in the not Indiana Jones
She's in National
movie.
Treasure 3. She's at National was it Fountain of Youth? National Treasure 3, The Fountain of Youth.
Yeah. But yeah, hell yeah. Oh god, Ash was just so fucking, guys. If Ash is available video on demand, please watch it. It's so fucking good. But yeah, but there is one final one, kind of a slight addition here.
Justin Geedy, I left
another super chat.
Guy. Thank you so much for the super chat.
The older generation of Titans, Nightwing, Starfire, Donna Troy, passing on the torch to the new Titans, Raven, Beast Boy, and Terra. I think that would be great. I think that would be really good. Maybe have Damian Wayne as part of the team. Like every Teen Titans has to have a Robin. But it's just like, I want Nightwing. I feel like for me personally, I know this is going to be a little bit of a side tangent. I'll be quick, I swear. I don't think Batgirl and Nightwing should be the forever couple in regards to them. I think she needs to be with Jason Bard. He needs to be with Starfire. I feel like the end game couple for Nightwing is Starfire. That's just my personal opinion. I think that's better suited for him than Batgirl. Plus, Batgirl is like essentially his sister because they're like the Bat family. It's a little weird, so there's that as well. But anyway, I think that's great. I don't like Terra though, because I'm kind of getting sick of the Judas contract. It was an animated form. It was in the original show. It had its own animated movie in the DCAMU, and it was in Titans. So I think they need to calm down with the Judas contract. It's a great story outside of the Deathstroke pedophilia, but outside of that, great story. But there are plenty of other great Teen Titans stories that they can use, and I feel like Terra is kind of this like blight on that. So I don't want them to do that. Just me personally, because it's like, oh, people are going to expect that, and I don't want that. But I like this pitch. So thanks for the comments, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the great comments, everybody. It's been an amazing week here at DCU Daily and Also Curious, and we'll be back at it again on Monday, because I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of news stories. We'll have everything from
comment, guys, subscribe,
Tuesdays to Fancast Fridays, and everything in between. DC
what are your
news,
thoughts
Marvel
on that?
News.
Let us know.
Let us know what you think. Get in the comments down below, and hit the like button while you're at it. Hit subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell. Let us know what you think about the show. We're here Monday through Friday, and we'll be back on Monday. And then Liz will be back next week. John and I will be here. So guys, have a great weekend ahead, and enjoy some DC. Go watch Thunderbolts if you want. And check out the new Kingdom Come screening that's happening for Superman, and we'll keep an eye out for the Superman trailer. But until Until Monday, until next week, guys, have a fantastic weekend. And we'll see you next time on another episode of DCU Daily.